My name is George Peterson. I am 94 years old. That's not something I say for effect. It's just a fact now. At this age, numbers stop feeling impressive. They start feeling explanatory. They explain why my hands shake a little, why my voice slows down, why memories arrive without asking, and why one sentence, spoken 46 years ago, still sits at the center of my life like it just happened yesterday. My son died when he was 48. People hear that and assume it was sudden. It wasn't. It was slow enough to prepare us and fast enough to leave us unready. That's how most losses work. I was 48 too once. That's the part that still unsettles me. I've lived twice as long as my son did. And yet, somehow, it feels like I lost 46 years of my life the day he spoke his last sentence. His name was Daniel. He wasn't famous. He didn't leave behind the legacy people write about. He was just my son. And for most of his life, I thought that was enough. When Daniel was young, I was a busy man, not cruel, not absent, just busy in the way men of my generation were taught to be, providing, working, enduring. I loved my son. I just didn't always fey it in the ways he might have felt. I believed love was understood. I believed presence mattered more than words. I believed there would be time. That belief cost me more than I knew. Daniel grew up quietly. He didn't rebel much, didn't demand much. He learned early how to stand on his own. At the time, I felt proud of that. Now, I wonder what it took from him to become that way. As he got older, our conversations became practical work, bills, responsibilities. We spoke like two adults managing life, not like a father and a son still learning each other. I told myself that was normal. It was easier than admitting we were drifting. Then came the illness. Not all at once, just small signs at first. Fatigue, missed work days, a doctor's visit that took longer than expected. By the time we understood what was happening, the language around him changed. Treatment, options, time. Time became the word everyone avoided defining. I visited him often. I want that to be clear. I sat by his bed. I brought things from home. I asked how he was feeling. But I still spoke carefully, like a man afraid of saying the wrong thing instead of the right one. A repair I needed to make at home, the weather, anything that didn't feel like goodbye. He listened patiently, then he interrupted me. That alone should have told me something. He said my name, not Dad, my name. It stopped me. He looked at me for a long moment, long enough that the silence became heavy, and then he said it, just one sentence, not dramatic, not poetic, simple, clear, unavoidable. Dad, I waited a long time for you. That was it. No accusation, no anger, just truth. I didn't know how to respond. I smiled at first. A reflex. I asked him what he meant, but he didn't explain. He didn't need to, because in that moment, every memory rearranged itself. Every missed conversation, every time I chose work over sitting down, every moment I assumed love didn't need to be said. All of it lined up behind that single sentence. I waited a long time for you. I reached for his hand. It felt fragile. I wanted to say so many things, that I loved him, that I was proud, that I was sorry. But time, real time, was running out, and words don't move as fast as regret. He didn't say anything else. He just held my hand, and in that silence, I understood something far too late. I hadn't been absent. I had been unavailable. There's a difference, and children feel it deeply. Daniel died 2 days later. Peacefully, they said. I don't remember much after that. Just the sound of the machine stopping, just the quiet. People told me to be strong. They told me I had other children, other reasons to keep going. They were right, but they didn't understand what I lost. I didn't just lose my son. I lost the version of myself who could still fix what he meant. That sentence didn't fade with time. It followed me. Through my 50s, my 60s, my 70s, my 80s, and now into my 90s. I waited a long time for you. Some people carry photographs. Some carry letters. I carry that sentence. and it has shaped every year that came after his death. Because once you see where you failed someone you love, you can't unsee it. And the life you live afterward is never the same. That's where the real loss began, not the day my son died, but the day I realized how much of our life together had already slipped past us. After the funeral, the house felt unfamiliar. Not empty, unfamiliar, like a place that had quietly decided it no longer recognized me. I sat in my chair that first evening, hands folded, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. Grief doesn't arrive all at once. It seeps, it finds the smallest cracks, and settles there permanently. For a long time, I kept replaying that sentence. I waited a long time for you. I tried to hear it differently, tried to soften it, tried to convince myself he meant something else. But the older you get, the harder it becomes to lie to yourself convincingly. At 94, denial has no energy left. I realized something slowly, and it was harder to accept than his death. My son wasn't talking about time, he was talking about presence. He wasn't waiting for visits, he was waiting for permission to feel close to me. I had assumed love was obvious, that it radiated automatically from a father to a son. But love that is never spoken, never slowed down for, never made visible, doesn't always land the way you think it does. When Daniel was a boy, he used to linger near me, hover, ask small questions that didn't matter. At the time, I thought he was just curious. Now I know what he was doing. He was checking if I was available. I answered when I could. I nodded when I passed him. I told myself that was enough. I didn't understand that children don't need efficiency. They need attention. After he died, I went through his things, not right away. It took me months. I wasn't afraid of the memories. I was afraid of confirmation. In a drawer, I found old school papers, notes scribbled in the margins, drawings he never showed anyone. On one of them, written in uneven handwriting, was a sentence that felt like a quiet echo of his last words. "Dad's busy, maybe later." He must have written that when he was 8. That's when I finally broke, not loudly, not dramatically, just a slow collapse inward, the kind that doesn't draw attention, but changes you permanently. You see, grief isn't always about missing someone. Sometimes it's about realizing who you were when they needed you most, and that realization doesn't age well. For years after Daniel's death, I lived very deliberately, not joyfully, deliberately. I showed up more, I listened longer, I spoke less carefully, but the truth is, some lessons come with expiration dates, and once those dates pass, all you can do is live differently for the wrong reasons. I became a better man too late for the person who needed it most. That's a heavy thing to carry. People think time heals regret. It doesn't. Time clarifies it. It removes the noise, strips away the excuses, and leaves you alone with what you know to be true. I used to think losing a child was the worst pain a person could endure. Now I understand it more precisely. The worst pain is knowing you could have been more present while they were still here. That's the part that never sleeps. I don't dream much anymore, but when I do, Daniel is always younger, always waiting, not impatient, just hopeful. And that's the cruelest detail of all. At 94, people treat you gently. They forgive your silences. They excuse your slowness. They assume your regrets are settled. They are wrong. I have lived 46 years longer than my son. 46 years to think, to remember, to understand. That's what I meant when I said I lost 46 years. Not in absence, in awareness. If I had understood then what I understand now, my life would have looked very different. Not bigger, not more impressive, just closer. Here is what I wish I had known sooner. Children don't remember your sacrifices the way you do. They remember your availability. They remember whether your attention felt earned or automatic. They remember whether they had to compete with the rest of your life to be seen. I didn't lose my son because I was cruel. I lost him because I was distracted. And distraction over decades can be just as damaging. If you're listening to this and you still have time, not someday, not later, now. Sit with the people who matter without trying to be useful. Let conversations wander. Let silence breathe. Let presence be enough. because one day you may hear a sentence that rearranges your entire life. And unlike me, you might still have time to answer it properly. Daniel's last sentence changed how I live. It changed how I listen. It changed how I sit with people without trying to fix or manage them. But it didn't change the past. Nothing does. At 94, you don't ask life for fairness. You ask it for honesty. And honesty tells me this: I loved my son. But I didn't always make him feel loved. That difference matters more than people realize. I speak now because I don't want his sentence to end with me. I want it to reach someone who still has a choice, someone who still has a chance to be present before presence becomes memory. I lost my son, and with him, I lost 46 years I'll never get back. But if this story causes even one person to sit down, look up, and stay a little longer, then maybe my son's last words will continue doing what they did to me, changing a life. That is all I have left to offer now. Not advice, not wisdom, just truth, arriving late and hoping it doesn't arrive too late for you.